So Dawn, welcome to our Talking Heads session. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you and hearing some of your stories, your experiences. So my first question to you really is, where did you come from? Which island did you come from? And when did you come? How old were you when you came?
Right, I'm from Jamaica. I was born in Clarendon. And I came over to England when I was 10 years old. That was in 1960.
So you came when you were 10, and you went to school here.
I did.
What time of year did you come? Was it warm or was it cold? What were you expecting? What were you thinking when you knew you were coming? Were you excited or okay? You were excited.
Yeah, I was excited. I was a child, and it was the plane ride I was thinking of, And I came up with my little sister. She was 3 at the time, so I was sort of. Although we had someone like a guardian, on the plane, but she didn't do anything really. I was mummy to call in. Because, a 10-year-old in Jamaica is a 10-year-old is different to a 10-year-old here.
Responsible.
Exactly. I could do everything.
You went to school and you made friends.
I did, yes.
What was that like?
Oh, boy. I was talking to Victor about this outside. I remember the first day I walked in and it was just everyone looking at me, and I don't think I made any friends the first day. It was just hello, that sort of thing. And then it was getting used to the way of schooling here. And I remember the first day the teacher asked me a question, and I jumped up, to answer her, and everyone burst out laughing, But that's what we used to back home. Teacher spoke to you, you had to stand up to show respect, And I was saying, oh dear, embarrassment, etc. And I remember after that, another thing that stuck out in my mind was they had a fire drill, and all I heard was fire, and everyone was picking up their stuff, or just getting ready to go out. And I picked up everything, my bag, my coat, my books, and everyone's looking at me, she told me, and then another embarrassment again. But after a while, you got used to, the way of schooling here, and it was, I think, it was so young to what sort of used to back up,
How were the pupils with you? So they stared at you on a book.
Yeah.
Were they overtly racist? Let's just ask the question.
No.
No.
I didn't experience anything like that at all.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. There was a mixture of black and Greeks and Cypriots in the area because I lived in North London, East London, so there was a lot of mixture.
Something about North London, I think. So all the people that we've spoken to in this Talking Head series have all sort of stopped off in North London,
but ended up in South.
Yes, Jocelyn and I, we were just we used to go to the same church, etc.
Your primary school into your secondary school.
Yeah.
What were the expectations upon you from your parents and then from the school? How did that come together?
Right, yeah. My parents, they wanted me to do, the best, of course, and the school, just held back. I found anyway. Held back. It was, you were in the CSE classes, not the GCS class, GCE at the time. The GCE class at the time, yes. And everything, you wanted to do, no, you couldn't do that. Well, why? You're not getting a good reason. And of course, I don't know whether mum and dad knew, how to push, for what they wanted for me. So it was CSE. And that's all I did, and of course it was harder to get a GC grade because I think you had to get CSE grade 1
in order to be a GC.
Exactly, and it was harder for them doing that. And all they wanted you to do, of course, was typing in shorthand, going to office work.
You could have worked in the same school, trust me.
Yes. Yeah.
Coming out of school into the work life, tell us what was that?
Yeah, I remember I had my careers interview, what I wanted to do. Everything now is office work, so of course my aim was to be a teacher, but of course I didn't get all the grades, I didn't get exams, etc. So I had to come out, because parents, they need help, one less rather than me going on to further education. Then, so of course it was. I remember careers interview and applied for 2 jobs. One was in the civil service and one for GLC. And civil service didn't even reply to my application. I remember that. GLC, I got an interview, and I went for the interview and I got the job.
Okay.
And that was it. I stayed with the GLC right to retirement.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's where I met Victor.
Yeah. You got a good job, what was called a good job then, steady job.
Yeah.
So you stayed with the employer.
I stayed with it. And at the time, because of the organisation, it was so big, that if you're fed up with this job, you could ask for a transfer, and by next week you're in another job, in another department, in another. So I think that's why I stayed so long as well, because I moved around. Although I stayed in education, I could move around. I went to teacher salaries, I went to recruiting teachers.
Excellent. So tell me, what was your experience about progression? Career progression.
Oh Lord, that was another fight. That was a big fight, because you'd be in a job and you'd be on top of everything, and you were there. You were the best, and someone else would come in, get promoted, and it was crazy. And I remember I actually went to my union, and say, well, something's not right, and all I asked, go for interviews after interviews after interviews, give me some feedback. Well, you did very well, but. You did very well, but, and this went on for years and years and years and years. And when I got fed up, I just went to another job, But it was the same grade.
Yes.
And I remember I moved down to careers now, out of sort of teaching service, etc. And I went to careers, and I had a black manager who came at all. And I remember she came and she was in the job for about. The first week, it was me and there was another black member of staff here as well, and we were sort of job sharing, as officers at the time. And she took me in the office and she said, why are you in this position? You should be at a higher level. And I said, well, I've tried so many times and I'm not. And she goes, no, this is not happening. And she said, first of all, you're going out on some but you can go to get degrees and go to college and do something.
Yes.
And, getting some more qualifications, etc. I said, no, I've been out of education so long, I can't do it. You're doing it.
That's right.
And the next thing I know, I was out on a day release. And I did, and I got an agency, I think it was our agency, one of them. And the next thing, I've been promoted. And by the time I got promoted, I remember after that promotion, I saw another job and I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. I went for it and I got it straight away. And that was,
So from this one person who, essentially we now call it, who mentored you.
That's true,
mentored you and gave you the impetus and said, and believed in you, and showed you that you can do that.
That's right.
Well done. That's really
I think what's important there as well is that your white counterparts didn't see, or it's not that they didn't see that potential, they didn't want that potential to flourish. That's how it sounds to me, because it took another black person coming along and saying, no, you can and you should. That made you go for it, so to speak.
So tell us about your music, your song.
Well,
as you mentioned church.
I did, the majority of my church songs, I'm not too up on that my cathedral, but Jim Reeves every Sunday morning Jim Reeves or Mahalia Jackson. That was playing.
Pat Boone, did you get any of you?
Yeah, Pat Boone as well, yeah. And Jim Reeves, it was like Precious Memories, and I'm trying to think of all the others, but you know, it was at the time. It's not like now where there's so many gospel artists and so on.
We didn't have any gospel artists until Edwin Hawkins came with That Happy Day.
Yes, that's right.
Well, no, to be fair, you've quoted the big gospel artist, which was Mahalia Jackson.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do my cathedral for you.
Okay.
As for your session of talking heads.
Right, yes.
And if you want to join in, do. But you can sit back and be serenaded.
All right, yes. Okay.
But I just want to thank you so much, as in fact all of us, for just coming and sharing the stories. I think it's so important, and because Windrush has now been established, Windrush Day, I think it's really good to hear the truths of real life people, and we do hear it, but a lot of what we read is from people, back from slavery times, etc., and it's all very relevant. But when it's still relevant today, when we're still dealing with a lot of stuff today, it just makes us all realise that the work isn't finished, and we do have to keep pressing forward.
Definitely.
So thank you for coming and sharing.
That's okay. It's my pleasure. Thank you both.
Yes.